I'm a beginner when it comes to drawing, so I set a challenge to myself to draw every day for a whole year straight, and in about 44 days, I went from this to this. I'm still not great, but the difference is pretty tremendous. But then I burnt out and put drawing on pause for over a month. I'm making this video to document my progress and to see how much I've improved, but also to see how I felt about this whole journey so far. And to ask, was this all worth it? I don't know. Maybe. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to draw well, and being able to produce pieces of art from your own mind just seemed so cool. So I figured, why not give it a go? I've tried to draw before, set challenges for myself, used various resources to study, like Mark Crilley's How to Draw Anime, don't make fun of me, to Nintendo's Art Academy on the Wii U. But all those attempts fell short. I just never made it a habit. But this time I felt like it would be different. Sure, I had a history of getting lots of fiery passion and then burning through all that passion within a month or two, but this time I'd be posting on TikTok to track my progress. And having people watch my journey might give me the motivation I need to keep the momentum going. I think it's foolproof. So week 1 goes without a hitch. I'm trying to draw at least one thing or do one drawing exercise a day, and it's going pretty well. I even drew myself a little mascot. I figured a fun way to see how much I was improving was to see how much better I could draw my mascot over the year. Look at that little robot cat girl go! Woohoo! I ended up drawing Tears of the Kingdom Link, some shapes, Bree, my mascot, Pavitr Pavakar, I had just finished Across the Spider-Verse, and my own Spider Sona, which, my god, that guy needs some work. And week 2 wasn't so bad either. In fact, I would argue that it would be my most motivating week yet. Most of that week was spent practicing figure drawing and portrait drawing. Ultimately, I want to be able to create my own characters, so it made the most sense to practice the human form with more intent. And it went really well. I did some figure practice using lineofaction.com and practiced drawing faces from scratch. Now here, I know that most resources online tell you that a great way to practice portraits is to draw guidelines to help with proportions. For example, the Loomis method is a super well-known set of guidelines. But my partner, who is an incredible artist in their own right, suggested something a bit different. They told me that a guideline is similar to blueprints to a house. Very essential if you want to build your own house for sure, but before you can create blueprints, you should study how houses actually look like. Build up your visual database and library so you have a lot more to pull from when creating these blueprints. And for them, building my visual library meant free drawing faces by trying to draw exactly what I see. The idea being, if I train my eyes to see the faces better now, it would help me draw from my imagination in the future. And this practice paid off. I think these portraits were some of the more impressive ones I've done, especially compared to the first portrait I've attempted. And on TikTok, day 12 actually popped off. I got over 100k views and over 8,000 likes, the most successful video I've ever made. And I remember a feeling of momentum coming over me. Like the algorithm was actually rewarding me for my efforts. Good job, man. Keep it up. Keep drawing. There are people cheering you on. Week 3 started off strong. I felt great about my artistic progress and even my social media growth. This time I tried to do a digital portrait, and that went as well as you might have thought. Oof. But soon after, I went back to drawing with pencil and paper, practicing with drawing hands and doodling my mascot. But as I was posting, I noticed that my motivation and momentum slowed down a bit. So I figured, why not try to make another TikTok pop off, and maybe I can ride that momentum again. And since the portrait popped off before, I decided to draw another portrait. And sure enough, the TikTok did pop off. Not nearly as hard this time, but it was significantly more than the other videos, and it gave me enough of a self-esteem boost to keep my momentum going. I finished with increased motivation and happily did some practice with clothing, and it was off to week 4. I started this week with a completely original drawing. I thought to myself, hey, I've been drawing for 3 weeks up to this point, only studying from references, trying to draw them one-to-one. So why don't I see if this is actually helping my imagination and try to draw something original. I still used a few references because, truth be told, my visual library is still very small, but overall I drew exactly what I wanted to. A witch girl walking with a drawstring bag while holding onto a can of soda. It's not so bad. I continued through the week and kept practicing, drawing from life, drawing scenes from shows, and even took a break day by playing some drawing games with my friends. That totally counts as drawing though, right? And as my passion started to dwindle a bit, I dug back into my tried and true TikTok formula and drew another portrait to help me get a boost of motivation. Okay, so even less than my last portraits, but hey, 10k is nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty good. The people still seem to like watching me progress and get better at my art. So that's awesome. Let's keep the ball rolling and finish this month strong. On the last day of the 4th week, I decided to redraw the first thing I drew in this challenge, just to see how much I improved within a month. In this case, it happened to be Tears of the Kingdom Link. And wow. Honestly, even I was surprised by how much better it looked. Like, the differences aren't drastic per se, but the second Link looks more accurate to the reference, especially the face. My original drawing looked like it was supposed to be Link, but this one looked like it was Link. And there's nothing like seeing your own improvement to keep you motivated to press forward. But it was during this time that my determination was being tested. My day job is being a freelance video editor, and on this particular week, I had booked a lot of clients. And to tell you the truth, during this journey so far, I had actually been putting more priority in finishing a drawing for the day over finishing a job for a given deadline. I made a promise to myself and now the TikTok audience that I would be drawing every day, and that meant every day. But the thing is, because I'm a novice, each of my drawings took me about 2 to 3 hours to draw. And the TikToks took me 1 to 2 hours to make. So that's 3 to 5 hours of my day used on this hobby. Combined with trying to keep healthy habits and trying to keep up with chores, the hours were adding up. I would just stay up later and later to finish my work on time, and on many occasions I had to ask for extensions. So by the time week 5 rolled around, I knew I had to switch priorities. I needed to finish my work at a reasonable time. So if I felt that I was too busy, I would just do a simple 10 to 15 minute doodle. I'm still technically drawing every day, so hey, that counts and is good enough for me. But doing that wasn't too fun, nor was it very satisfying. At least when I drew for 2 hours, it felt like I was really improving my craft. Now it just felt like I was checking a box to keep up with an arbitrary promise to myself. And worse than that, it felt like the rapid growth I was having as an artist, and even as a TikToker, was quickly coming to a stop. So at the end of week 5, I took a day to really sit down and take time to draw like I did before. I pulled from my trusty past successes and drew yet another portrait. Like the ones before, it took me hours, but it was important to keep my artist's eye sharp. And the added benefit would be that I would get another boost in views, likes, and follows, and that would once again help me feel recharged and motivated. 3K views? 200 likes? Am I stagnating? Am I not improving as much as I could be? As much as I need to be? Is what I'm drawing not impressive anymore? Oh no. I made a fatal mistake. The intention of making daily TikToks was to document my progress. If people liked what they saw, then neat. If that ended up being a lot of people, sure, that'd be great. And if that was enough people to make me consider TikTok famous, hey, I wouldn't mind that. Maybe if I got famous enough, I could even ask my followers to follow me on Twitch, and then maybe I could be an art streamer, and then maybe sell my art and even make money off my art, and then... The feeling of watching my numbers go up as I was improving my craft proved to be seductive and addicting. I attached my sense of growth as an artist with the growth of my TikTok, and as I saw rapid growth in the beginning, I naively thought to myself, hey, I could take advantage of this. Drawing every day stopped being something I did to get better, but something I did to gain more followers. Or rather, I associated getting more followers with getting better. And very quickly, the momentum I was feeling in the beginning of the journey was dying. Week 6 came around and I tried a bit desperately to cling onto my growing channel. I did portraits 3 days in a row, but each of them had middling success, all around 1K views. Not much better than my usual drawings, and that really killed my momentum to keep going. I'm reminded of this social experiment on intrinsic and extrinsic motivation that was done to some kids. The story goes that there were a group of kids that liked to draw. Half the kids were promised and given rewards for their drawings, and the other half weren't promised anything at all. Both groups drew happily during their experiment, but what we come to learn is that the group of kids that were promised rewards stopped drawing for fun in their own free time. Now that the extrinsic reward was attached to drawing, it felt like a waste of time or that there was no point if you drew on your own. And I think that's what happened to me. Sure, no one specifically promised me that I would grow on TikTok, but the algorithm was starting to give me some expectations. The algorithm was rewarding me for my drawings, and now that it stopped rewarding me, at least not at the pace that I expected, I stopped wanting to draw. This is particularly bad for me because I have really low intrinsic motivation. I hardly do anything if there's no reward attached to it, or if there isn't anyone I need to be accountable for. So I feel like I need extrinsic motivation to get me to do anything, which is part of the reason why I started this TikTok journey to begin with. But as the experiment and my own experience suggests, once that extrinsic motivator runs out, so does my own motivation. So I don't think that's a sustainable way to go about it. There must be a way to strengthen or at least bring out my own intrinsic motivation. And I think that's making drawing fun first. Now that seems pretty obvious, but I'm being serious. The only thing that I don't need extrinsic motivation for is playing video games. Because for me, the act of playing the game is rewarding in and of itself. So I gotta find a way to make drawing fun on its own. Instead of forcing myself to learn different techniques like a school or a boot camp, I should find something that I enjoy drawing. Because then, learning different techniques will be a way to enjoy the drawing even more. And I started to do that. After week 6, I effectively stopped drawing daily and posting on TikTok. But I didn't stop drawing completely. On my streams, I set up a little game where the first person to type in chat would be that day's stream winner. And for the winner, I'd do a little doodle for them. And those drawings were honestly so much more fun than the other stuff I've been doing. I get to draw for my community, and the people I draw for get to collaborate with me, and we come up with some funny and wacky ideas. Some of my favorite drawings that I've ever done were these stream winner drawings. I mean, look at these drawings I did for Melting Cherry. These are hilarious. I don't know, I really like what I did here. So clearly there are drawings that I like doing without the need for the algorithm to enjoy. In fact, I didn't even make videos about these drawings other than in my comeback to TikTok video. So at the end of the day, that's what I think I need to do with my drawings. Draw for fun. Draw because I can make things with people, and because I want to make things for myself. This is a hobby I'm trying to pick up, not an entire career. There shouldn't be so much pressure to draw like the pros, because honestly, I don't want to be. I don't even really want to be spectacular at drawing. I just want to be good enough to produce pieces of work that my community and I enjoy. And let me tell you, despite not being professional quality, my community and I really enjoyed these stream winner drawings. So to answer the question that I asked in the beginning, was drawing like this worth it? Well, yeah. It showed me what is and isn't sustainable and will shape how I draw in the future. Do I wish that it could have happened without me burning out like this? Well, yeah, of course. But some things you don't really learn until it hurts you. And pain is quite the effective teacher. I'm going to continue to draw. Draw because I want to, not because I feel like I have to. And I want to make a lot of content around it as well. Like maybe an amateur rates drawing tutorials to see if they actually work. Or like a you lose, you draw challenge where I can play a fighting game, and if I lose, then I have to draw the character that beat me. I don't know, I'm kind of spitballing here, but you kind of get the idea. If any of that interests you, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell. And let your friends know about this channel. I truly do appreciate you guys for watching the whole video. It will always be the community that pushes a creator forward. Thanks for standing by. I'll see you next time.